What's up fam? It's your girl Lo, back again with another vlog. And if you couldn't already tell by the very obvious flag behind me, we're talking all things hockey today. And if you couldn't tell by that flag, I'm a big Hurricanes fan. Which is kind of surprising knowing that I come from the north. You'd think, oh, she's probably a Bruins fan. Couldn't be further from the truth. Funnily enough, I wasn't really introduced to hockey until I moved to the south, so got introduced to the Canes not long after moving down there and been stuck with them ever since. They have my heart completely. Absolutely love them. I'm absolutely part of the bunch of jerks. I'm not gonna deny that. So proud to say that. I love these boys. They've definitely had their rough spots. Been watching them quite a while now, and seeing them go for that cup run in '06 was fantastic. And then those harsh years of kind of being towards the middle and being a little towards the bottom and struggling all those years, but finally making it back to the playoffs last season and then making it back this season again with a whole bubble hockey thing going on. It's been a wild ride for sure. I'd have to say my very first ever favorite hockey player was Jeff O'Neill. He was number 92 on the Carolina Hurricanes. He was originally drafted by the Hartford Whalers, 5th overall. And yeah, he became my favorite player. I loved watching him play. I loved cheering him on when we could go to the games. And I still remember, I have it somewhere packed away at home. I have an autographed hockey card of his, and the kind of funny, kind of awkward story behind it is that we were going to what they call the Caniac Carnival, and they have it every season, usually in late August, early September, right before training camp starts. All the guys are back, and they allow the fans to come, and you can go hang out, meet the players, get autographs, take some pictures, and then you get to watch them do a scrimmage, and it's a whole bunch of fun. There's always inflatables, all kinds of games, there's things you can do, there's food, lots and lots of food. And we decided to go to that time, and I wanted to get that card signed, and of course, it just so happened that morning I wasn't feeling so hot. But you know what? I loved hockey, even at that young of an age, and I wasn't about to miss out on meeting my favorite player. So my dad and my brother and I trucked along. My mom was at work at the time, sorry Mom. But the three of us went along, and we had a great time even though I was sick, and I made sure I got that hockey card signed. That was the one thing I wanted that day, even at that young age. That's all I wanted. Got it done. Love that thing. Still one of my favorites. Kind of a silly memory, but it's a good one behind that. In terms of my current favorite players that are in the league right now, funnily enough, they're not Canes players. I know, probably gonna take a little bit of heat for that, but I love my boys. But a few of my favorite players are not from the Canes, unfortunately. But my biggest top favorite player right now is absolutely Matthew Barzal. I've been following him since his days in Seattle with the Seattle Thunderbirds. He was fantastic. Still a little jealous that my dad got to see him play when he played for them, but it's whatever. I will get to see him play one day in person. That's a big goal of mine. I want to see him play in person. Seeing him play on TV just doesn't always cut it. But I'm determined to get to see him play live at one point. He plays so well. He has such finesse, and he really knows what he's doing. And for a team like the Islanders, that's exactly what they need. Kind of sucks that their team is in the Canes division, so they're a little bit of a rivalry there, but I do appreciate watching him, and I got no beef towards the Islanders. They're doing pretty well. They're finally making a comeback. They just advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals of the playoffs in this hockey bubble. Are you kidding me? So that's pretty damn exciting. One of my other favorite players is a tough one because I absolutely adore him. I've been following him since his junior days when he was an Everett Silvertip, but I really am not a huge fan of the team that he's on now. I'm not really a big fan of them. They're a big rival of the Hurricanes for sure, but I do love Carter Hart of the Philadelphia Flyers. Really don't like his team, but I love what he's doing. I'm glad to see him finally earning his spot in the big show. It kind of sucks that they just did get knocked by the Islanders, but that man played so well, and everyone was just super supportive of him. Even when they did the post-game handshake at the end, all the guys were giving him so many pats on the back, stopping to chat with him because they see the potential in him. They see how big he's gonna be. They saw all the amazing things he did. He got the team to Game 7. Like, he really held on and gave it his all until the last minute, and that was so exciting to see, and I cannot wait to see all the things he continues to do, because if he's doing this well right now, this man is gonna be insane when the normal season comes back, and like, oh my god, I'm just so excited to see all the things that he's gonna do. In terms of current favorite players on the Canes, I've been a huge Hayden Fleury fan since we drafted him. I've loved seeing his progression and winning the Calder Cup with the Charlotte Checkers, and then finally making the big team full time. Seeing all the things that he's doing, he was very, very helpful during these playoffs. And with some other young guns like Andrei Svechnikov, and Sebastian Aho's still pretty young. He's obviously not a rookie anymore, but like, he's still pretty young. Like, we have some good young bodies, and we have some good like veteran presences like Justin Williams, Jordan Martinook, Jordan Stahl. Like, we've got a good mix of both new and older guys in terms of like vets and stuff like that. Like, we have a pretty solid mix, and that's why we've been making it back to the playoffs finally. And with a head coach like Rod Brind'Amour, we're really rolling. We're really rolling strong, and I'm excited to see where else they can take this. Hopefully get a couple in the next few years or so finally. It's so good to finally be back in the playoffs, but I'm like so excited to see them finally bring the cup back to Raleigh. Just waiting for that to come again, because seeing it when I was little, it was so much excitement back in 2006, seeing that thing come home and being able to go like see it back when it was still the RBC Center. They allowed the fans to come one day and you could get pictures with it, just see the cup up close, which was like absolutely insane. And that thing is like so beautiful up close, let me tell you. It's just like so like breathtaking. It's huge, it's beautiful, like it's everything you'd ever want it to be. It's fantastic. I've been fortunate enough to go to quite a few hockey games in my time, more than I can count at this point. I've probably seen just about every team under the sun get to play, which has been a lot of fun. And then every once in a while getting to go to a AHL game here and there. Gonna miss the Charlotte Checkers, but it was fun getting to go to some of their games. And definitely one of my favorite like hockey memories or hockey games that I've ever like been to and experienced was absolutely, I think it was a year or two ago, going to the teddy bear toss game that the Charlotte Checkers hosted. That's like a big thing that the American Hockey League does, which I think would go over so well if the NHL could probably try to like introduce it one day. It'd be kind of fun. They do what they call a teddy bear toss game, and if you're going to the game that night, they ask you can bring new and teddy bears and like stuffed animals and stuff to bring to the game, and when the home team scores the first goal, or when the home team scores their first goal of the game, everyone starts chucking the bears on the ice, and it's just like the funniest thing, but it's also like super exciting. And all the bears get collected, and after that game they get donated to local children's hospitals for all the sick kids and kids that are struggling, and it's just like a really sweet thing that they do, and it's so fun. And like at the right game they can have a whole lot of teddy bears, and it's just so funny to see the guys out there like with the bears raining down, and some of them get so many to the point that there's just like piles and piles of them everywhere, and guys are just like diving in them, and just there's big ones, there's small ones. The huge ones are the best because you see people struggling to get them over the glass, and like people are like, oh no, like are they really gonna get it up? And then they finally get it over, and everyone's just like freaking out because they got the big one on there, and you see someone finally pick it up off the ice, and they're just like, yeah, it's just like so much excitement, and it's a whole lot of fun for sure. In terms of like Canes games experiences, I definitely think the introduction of the Storm Surge has been so much fun. I've gotten to experience quite a few of those, thankfully, and oh my gosh, they're just like, I think they're hysterical. Like, I don't understand how people didn't like them. Like, they're a lot of fun. Like, you get to celebrate winning in a fun way. Like, why not? There's been so many fun ones. There's been stuff like they did the wave. They played basketball on the ice when it was around March Madness time. They've played football on the ice. They've played baseball. They even played Duck Duck Goose, which was pretty hilarious. Seeing a bunch of grown men sitting in a circle playing Duck Duck Goose on the ice. They've done things like Duck Hunt, which was pretty cool. They even had Halloween and New Year's Eve themed ones, which were really funny. I was there one time they did the wave, which was hilarious because it's like, it just happened that during that game there was so many people and it took a little while to get it going, but once people realized what was going on, they finally got it going, and they were doing the wave that night. And there's been interviews where like the guys talk about when they decide or how they decide like what they're gonna do for the storm surge that night, and I think for that one they probably just had seen what was going on and like noticed the crowd like going crazy, so they decided to break out the wave for their storm surge that night. And it was hysterical because nobody was really expecting it, but then we all like picked up on it as they got together to do their thing, and it was a lot of fun. And it's just like, it's a great way to interact with the fans and keep people like excited and like wanting to come back to the games, and like it's a whole lot of fun. Like why would you not want to support a team that's just there to have fun? Like really? I definitely think this season has been a little crazy with the whole like hockey bubble thing going on, but I definitely, in my opinion, think that they've had one of like the best experiences so far. They haven't had any real issues with COVID at all. They've like been able to keep the guys in secluded areas, but like they still get to have fun. They've gone out on some like football and soccer fields, I think it was, and they've like played some sports outdoors. They've just gotten to hang out. They get to spend time with each other. The families have been sending in videos every once in a while. Like it's just been a really good process for them, and I think like they've had the most success with it so far, personally, in my opinion. And it's just been fun to see. It kind of sucks to like not have fans there, and it is a little silly to kind of hear the piped in crowd noise during the game, but I think it works, honestly. And I think they've done a really good job of keeping everyone safe and keeping all the broadcasts good, and I obviously work in broadcasting, so definitely appreciating like how well they're doing everything and keeping everything like good for the fans and keeping everyone like excited. And they've been doing videos about like what the life is like inside the bubble, and they've been posting some fun content from the teams and from the players, and it's just been like a really good thing to watch. And it's like a nice little like positive thing with all the like hard stuff going on in the world right now. So it's definitely been fun to watch for sure, and I'm excited to see who's going to be competing for that Stanley Cup here shortly. I wish it was my Canes. I'm sorry it's not, but I wish it was. But you know, I'm excited to see where it ends up, and my boy Matthew Barzal is still in there competing for the cup, so definitely rooting for him for sure. I don't really have anything against really any of the teams that are left in there right now, but I'm definitely kind of pulling for Matthew Barzal a little bit. Would love to see him go far, maybe win that cup. That'd be so exciting. That's all for this week's video, but I have some more fun content in the works coming real soon, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to find more of me, definitely drop a follow to my Instagram at @the_lifeoflow, and I will see you all real soon. But for now, stay safe.